Okay, hello, I'm back. That didn't take too long, I don't think. Once you have a diagram like this, especially if the fields are all agreed upon, with the customer, how they're going to look and stuff, then it's pretty easy to make tables. I mean, you have your instructions, you know exactly what to do. So like here's the customer table, ID, name, all that stuff. This bit field. Here we got the customer contacts with its foreign key. I usually put foreign keys near the top if I can, but a lot of times they wind up at the bottom or the middle because they come later in the development process, and it's not really a good idea to move these fields around unless you're going to do that like all in one go, and make sure that everybody that has the front end user interfaces have new fresh front end user interfaces that are familiar with the newly arranged fields. That can be a disaster. So to avoid that disaster, we usually just keep appending fields to the bottom here. So even if they come after the created on field, which we usually like to leave last, but that's okay. Customer addresses is this field here. Notice that I'm not requiring the field for address line 2 and 3, but I am for line 1, and required for city, state, and postal code. The long address is going to be like a calculated field where you take these values and you put them together in a logical way and put it in, with line breaks and all that. So notice the size is bigger, but also it's nullable because a lot of times these will get filled in first, the record will get saved, and then in a separate process, this field will get filled out. And so for that moment in time, it has to be nullable. If you didn't want it that way, you could make sure that the record can't get saved until this one was filled out if these were all filled out. So, you can certainly make it that way, but this, I think, is a little more flexible, a little more straightforward. And then this table right here, very quick and easy. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some indexes on these. So let's get back to the customers table first. And the primary key will already be in there, but then we got to add some other indexes. So here's the button you need to manage your indexes. And so you can see the primary key is already there. I'll go ahead and add an index. I want to index the customer name field, and this one here, primary contact ID, and probably should index the created on field too in case I ever want to search or sort by that field. So this is going to be what they call heavily indexed, because the only field that's not going to get indexed is this one Boolean field. But that's okay. It's fairly common, and it's good for performance. So we're going to add the first one will be the customer name. Just go find it. Say OK. And is it going to be unique? Probably a good idea in customer name that'll be set to yes. I never really mess with too many of these other fields. I know you can make this what's known as a clustered index or something like that, but the primary key is the only clustered index you need, and it's already clustered by default. But this is something I do a lot. I go ahead and alter the name so it matches what's up here. You can just swipe across here, copy, come down here, a little underscore, and paste. And that's a good name for this index right there. The IX just means index, of course. And so that's a good name. You want it to be unique within the database. So if I just called it customer name, there might be another table, like, I don't know, potential customers or archive customers or something like that might need a similar index with a similar name. So by putting the table name in there also, make sure it's unique in the entire database. So I'm not quite done yet. Let me go ahead and add another one. The next one's going to be the primary key here, primary contact ID, because that's a foreign key. Now this one's not going to be unique, that's for sure. And we'll go ahead and do that same little trick. Put an underscore, boom. Oh, and I didn't finish. I forgot. Created on. Okay, so let me add one more. Created on, where are you at? There you go. This probably will wind up being unique anyway. I don't really need to index it as unique. Just an index so I can sort the fields either descending or ascending by this field. Sorry, sort the records by this field. Okay, so that's a good enough demonstration for right now. Let me go ahead and save this table, make sure it saves. A lot of times when you're doing indexes, this is when you'll get an error message because for whatever reason you just made some wrong selections. But that went in okay. So I'm going to do these other three tables real quick, and then in the next video, trying to break this up so each video is short as possible. I'm going to show you how to do some relationships. I'm going to establish the relationships between all these tables, these one-to-one, one-to-many, and constrain some of them but not others, and so on and so forth. All right, so that'll be the next video.